everybody, I am back once again talking briefly about two major news stories in the world of wrestling from the past week. One of them being the tragic passing away of Macho Man Randy Savage. And I won't talk about the circumstances of his death or anything like that. Sorry, I had some shit in my eye. I wasn't crying. And I won't talk about it too much because a lot of people have already said stuff about it and they've said it better than I could. What I will say is Randy Savage will always have, a place in my wrestling heart. One of the reasons for that is because, when I first saw wrestling on TV, or first watched it, or what have you, he was a main eventer, and he would have been, for a lot of people around my age who started watching wrestling, he would have been one of those top guys. And the thing is, when you first start watching wrestling, whoever the main eventers are at that time, nobody will ever really live up to that in your eyes. That's the way I felt. As much as I loved guys like Eddie Guerrero or Chris Benoit, when they won the world title, they still, or John Cena or Randy Orton or anybody after the period of 1998, none of them really seemed to be as big stars to me as guys like Hogan and Savage and Goldberg. And because I started watching WCW, and then when I first started watching WWF, it was the same thing for that. The guys who were at the top then always seemed like bigger stars than the guys who followed them, and that's pretty much the way it is for everyone, I think. If you ask someone who's in their 40s who were the main eventers when you started watching wrestling, and they said, oh, so-and-so and so-and-so and so-and-so, I don't think anybody would have ever lived up to that in their eyes, because the first guys you see, those are the guys who get you into wrestling, and Savage was one of those guys. He was also one of my favourite characters to play with in WCW NWO Revenge. But yes, I actually probably liked him more than Hogan. When I first started watching wrestling, I thought I liked Hogan, but I liked the Macho Man more. But yes, on to other things. Ring of Honor now. Ring of Honor's big announcement was Ring of Honor has been sold to the Sinclair Broadcasting Group. Now, Kerry Silkin will still be in the company. All the guys who are running the company will still be in it, but they'll be having TV now. It's only in certain markets in the United States, from what I understand. But those markets that they are in, they have pretty good channels. I think it's like the My Network TV affiliates and the CW Network affiliates. See, Australian television doesn't really work the same as it does in the United States. And I remember when I went over to the United States, I didn't quite get it, but I still don't quite get it entirely. But I've got a rough idea what it is. But so the My Network TV and CW affiliates in many areas, and they're still going to be keeping the DVD business model, and hopefully they'll still be doing iPay-per-views. But one of the things I saw that was good about this is, even though it doesn't have a lot of markets, neither did HDNet. But they are more major networks in those markets, so that is good. They're also going to have better production values than they did before. It's with a publicly traded company with a $600 million revenue stream, I believe. So you'd hope that the production values would be better. More of a chance to get to international markets. The TV show will also be put on the ROH's website will be redone, and each episode of their new TV show will be put up online, so everyone in the world can watch it if they have internet access, which is great. So now we won't have to go through YouTube and watch it, which I'm extremely happy about. And I don't know if I said it, but yes, with improved production values, hopefully they'll be able to use this and sell the show to international markets, like they did with their HDNet deal, but they didn't sell it to a lot of markets. I think it was like India and Russia and France and Europe and Asia. But yeah, this is quite good, and I think it's a better deal for them than the HDNet deal, and they'll actually be able to do shows in the markets that the TV show is in and have good, large attendance figures, or do it from larger buildings and actually make their TV show look quite a bit better. And from what I understand, the tapings are going to be very similar, like a taping every month or so. But if they do it from larger venues, or they do it from a different venue each month, I think that will really benefit the product. And Jim Cornette and Delirious will still be in charge of creative, which is great. But with it being bought by the Sinclair Broadcasting Group, I'm not sure what that means for them eventually getting, a national TV deal. Would if anybody knows, would the Sinclair Broadcasting Group be able to, produce the TV show and then sell it to, on a national to a national market, like on just Spike TV nationally or something? Would that be possible? If anybody knows, let me know. I'm interested in everyone's thoughts on this, so leave your thoughts. Are you happy Are they going to be broadcasting in your area? Are they not? What are your thoughts? I know people who just are worried that Ring of Honor's on TV and they're thinking, oh, the product's going to change, but apparently the product is going to be kept very similar to what it is now. That action-packed, high-paced, hard-hitting kind of wrestling, which, I'm happy with. Even if it becomes a more mainstream product, I think it'll be fine, and I think this will be a good chance. It'll be a chance that Ring of Honor didn't have on HDNet to prove that, hey, look, we can appeal to casual wrestling fans. And I've always thought that Ring of Honor can do it. Everyone always said, doubts Ring of Honor and say, oh, no, they couldn't. It's not the same type of wrestling as the WWE, so they can't do it. But the whole thing is, whenever you have guys in the WWE who work a more Ring of Honor styled match, it always gets a really solid crowd reaction. Look at, like Bryan Danielson and Sin Cara. That was a fantastic match, which the crowd really got into. Bryan Danielson Daniel Bryan is a worker that is quite over in the WWE for a guy who loses as many matches as he does. Let me know your thoughts on it. And I'm just rambling. Just comments, leave them, and don't die.